You see this sheet? Every month, me and the Garden Bros go through it live, tracking every ship in development and what's really moving behind the scenes in Star Citizen. And right now, things are busy. Over 20 ships are on the cards, 12 confirmed in production, and I think at least 7 of them will be in your hands within the next 2 months. With CitizenCon right around the corner, you might already have 1 or 2 of these by the time you see this video, but today I'm going to give you the quick rundown of all the ships most likely to launch before 2026. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. First, we're going to start with the ships we've seen in reports and know for sure. Then we'll move on to what chat has spotted in ads and leaks covering things that haven't quite been discussed yet. The Anvil Paladin is one we've been following pretty closely. I'm not big into ship combat, but this looks like a pretty good ship for 3 to 5 friends to take on ground and ship combat missions over a length of time. While it doesn't have cargo space for loot, it does have 3 turrets featuring 2 size 4 quad guns and 1 size 5 quad gun. Missiles are also found on board, as well as space for downtime between missions. And it just looks like a really cool ship. I especially like the cockpit here, which, like the Hammerhead, has a very nice downward-facing viewport, which is going to make it a lot easier to land and I guess shoot people below you. Actually, with a Tobii Eye Tracker 5, you can make a lot of use of that, but I'll talk more about that at the end of this video, since they are sponsoring today's video. Back to the Paladin though, according to our records, it has been progressing well this year, working through the advanced Lot 0 phase here in September, which basically means it's game ready in terms of the basic art features. But with downstream teams such as audio, the damage passes, and the lighting teams just getting started, I do think this will still be a November release. Our other November release is likely this big guy here. The RSI Perseus looks much bigger than the aforementioned Paladin. At about double the length, it really only takes 1 to 2 more people though. That's because it's kind of the same type of ship, just a bit bigger. Here you've got 2 size 7 rumored to possibly be size 8 dual fire turrets and 2 size 3 dual turrets. You've also got 20 size 5 torpedoes, space for 50 SCU of storage, a ground vehicle, sleeping quarters, and a mess hall. This is a proper 4 to 7 person deep space patrol boat. You can spend days on this ship with sustenance, storage, defenses, and space for everybody, running heavy combat missions or ground engagements. With this ship just passing Lot 0 and the downstream teams getting a lot of their work done on it in September, at the larger size it is, I do think this is also pretty primed for a November release. Now, a bit of a wild card that I would have expected next year, but with the recent salvaging gameplay update in 4.3.2 and the way that salvaging now works across various ships, this one does seem like it's much more likely sooner than later. While it looks a bit Anvil in design, it's actually an RSI starter ship meant for salvaging to match the same role as a Golem for miners, or I guess the Intrepid for haulers. It was first revealed back in March of 2025 alongside our first look at the Wolf, in the same video where the Meteor was also revealed. As another relatively small ship like those two, it wouldn't take much time for it to get from concept to release, as we see specifically from the Wolf. So this was likely waiting for some kind of gameplay update before making its way into the live game, which it seems we're now seeing with 4.3.2. So by all means, this could be out within days of this video, but even if not, I'd definitely expect it by year's end. Besides these new ships, we also have a couple gold standards in progress, updates to get older ships up to what now would be release ready. Longtime viewers will know how important the gold standard is, and many of you who watch Space Tomato 2 may remember us digging into the way that CIG was actually slowly moving the Aurora out of the spotlight earlier in the year until they finally just completely took it off the website over the summer. Well, that's because it had indeed truly fallen behind, and as the most common ship in the game, that's not okay. So a quick overhaul of the quintessential starter ship has been underway for the last month or so. This will get it proper dimensions, cargo capabilities, lights, switches, components, and more appropriate loadout. It'll likely make the general new player experience better, and I would expect CIG will return the Aurora game package back to the store for its original $45 price, or we gonna have problems. The other gold standard on the way has been in progress since September, and most recently had work on the interior, component bays, and corridors. I love the interior look of the Aegis Hammerhead, much more than I like the actual ship itself. And I'm betting we're going to be seeing one of these in the interior in Squadron 42. So I'm looking forward to seeing how schmancy this thing gets after this update. I would expect to see it land in November or December. Now for our unconfirmed ships, there's a lot of speculation at the moment that one of the unannounced ships that we've been following throughout the months is actually a cargo-focused Apollo variant. The interesting thing about this theory is that we do know that there was an unannounced vehicle undergoing some unique cargo work back in the summer, and CIG is hyping people up for a variant of a recent favorite. Amongst the recent ship releases, the Apollo is definitely the standout favorite. Now I have things to say about variants, but that video won't be releasing for a little while. When it comes to the Apollo specifically though, I can't say no. I've always wanted to see an Apollo dedicated to more generalized or exploration and survival focused gameplay, so I'm excited to see this, even if the ship is much bigger than I expected. But this is also kind of telling in my opinion. I think it shows somewhat a lack of confidence in the mass appeal of this ship, likely based on the fact that medical gameplay, respawning in game, and the design of the game overall have actually changed quite a bit since the original Apollo concept was announced. And this is a beautiful ship. I mean, they can't let this chassis go to waste. Not that medics are waste, just it might not be used as much. You know, it's equivalent to say if a specialized interdiction ship had gotten a purely combat-focused variant to benefit a bit more from the beautiful chassis being more widely adopted. But none of this is confirmed, a lot of it's speculation, and much of it is based around leaks that have been pointing to this ship existing and coming soon, the names popping up here and there, and the rumors are swirling. While it's not confirmed, I can tell you that there is definitely an unannounced ship getting ready to release. And if it ain't that, it could be a new Vanduul ship. The Stinger is an already known ship, and it's been seen in progress updates across all Vanduul models back in 2019, as well as in recent Squadron 42 footage. So, is this an unannounced ship? Maybe. Is it a Vanduul ship that's definitely been completed for Squadron 42 and has only been held back for spoiler reasons? Showing up in discussions right as we start to hear about Vanduul attacks and Nyx as the next star system coming sometime soon? Yeah, it could all just be coincidence, but I'd keep an eye out for a new Vanduul ship or two appearing in the near future. And then, at least according to my sheet, there are two other unannounced ships we saw work on in October that I do think we'll see by year's end. At least one of these ships, I believe, will be one of our silhouettes from the 2024 CitizenCon show still not delivered. That is the believed to be CNOU ship or the suspected Drake ship. Considering two of the unannounced ships we're following are in the Lod 0 stage, one is at Final Art, which is past Lod 0, and the fourth is undergoing Lod 0 and Greybox in tandem, Greybox being the step before Lod 0. It's looking likely we're going to have at least 4 unannounced ships that we just don't know about by the end of the year, on top of what I've already listed confirmed here. So that's 7 new ships and 2 ship updates that I can say we have pretty high confidence of releasing by the end of the year. And remember, anything we missed here will show up straight into the game, as there's no more concept ships. Besides that, of course, we do know that the Raylan, the Kraken, Ironclad, Pioneer, and the Hull B are in production at some stage as well. This video is just covering those through to the end of the year. But if you'd like to keep up with the development of the game, major news surrounding it, and in general just get a better understanding of what the heck's going on and where things are headed, consider subscribing here. And maybe consider checking out the second channel, Space Tomato 2. It puts out more daily news, rambunctious thoughts, diatribes and rambles, and of course the podcast, bringing in different guests every week. The next episode is actually going to be with Luke Stevens about CitizenCon and Star Citizen in general, so head over there, subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're looking for a leg up in Star Citizen and you've already got your flight controls, might I suggest a Tobii eye tracker? I've been using one of these for about 5 years now, not just to lock onto enemies and look around my cockpit as I fly in Star Citizen, but also to log into my computer, verify purchases, and multitask while I'm working. It actually makes both gaming and general PC use better, and the game library it functions with is surprisingly big. While this video is sponsored by Tobii, I actually generally suggest the device to people after they've gotten their HOTAS and their mouse and keyboard figured out, just because it can actually make a genuinely noticeable impact in the game you're playing, especially in Star Citizen because it's so deeply integrated and the functions actually work pretty well. And while it is pretty expensive, you can currently get a 15% discount on the device right now for the CitizenCon sale they've got going on. And if you'd rather think about it and come back later, you can still get a 5% discount at any point using my code SPACETOMATO at checkout. So if you're interested, check out the link down below and use code SPACETOMATO if you'd like. And if you don't like the device, well, they are also great about return policies. Either way, thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you learned something new in it, and I'll catch you in the next.